The rain hammered the windshield like it was trying to drown out the lie I was about to live. But when Jordan's text lit up my phone, midnight, the old field, don't chicken out this time, I swerved the truck onto the shoulder of I-94, heart slamming harder than the thunder. Sarah's engagement ring burned a hole in my pocket, a platinum promise I'd slide on tomorrow at graduation, sealing me into the life everyone said was perfect. But here I was, engine idling in the storm, already unraveling the knot before it could tighten. I killed the lights and floored it toward the empty soccer pitch where we'd first kissed under stadium floods 4 years ago, knowing one look at him would shatter everything. That field hadn't changed. Cracked turf patched with fresh sod, the goalposts leaning like tired sentinels under the relentless downpour. I parked behind the bleachers, the wipers slapping a frantic rhythm that matched the pulse in my throat. Graduation loomed at dawn. Cap and gown, diploma in hand, Sarah beaming from the front row, her family clapping like I'd just won the lottery by choosing her. Stable job lined up in Chicago, law firm internship, the whole American dream scripted out. But Jordan, he was the glitch, the wild card who'd ghosted after sophomore year, leaving me with nothing but echoes and a closet full of denial. I hadn't seen him since he transferred to UCLA, chasing pro scouts and whatever dreams didn't include small-town Michigan boys too scared to fight for themselves. The clock on my dash blinked 11:58. I zipped up my hoodie, grabbed the flashlight from the glove box, and bolted into the rain. Mud sucked at my sneakers as I cut across the grass, the beams slicing through sheets of water like a knife. There he was, silhouetted against the far goal, tall and unyielding, his black jacket slick and shining. He turned as my light hit him, and God, that face. Sharper now, jaw set like he'd been carved from the same storm, green eyes catching the flash with a spark that hit me like lightning. "Alex," he said, voice low over the roar, stepping forward without a smile. No hug, no hesitation. Just that word, heavy as accusation. I killed the light, plunging us into wet darkness broken only by distant highway glow. "You came back. Couldn't not." He closed the gap, rain dripping from his hood, close enough I could smell the pine soap he always used, mixed with earth and regret. His hand brushed my arm, tentative like testing if I'd flinch. I didn't. Instead, I grabbed his collar and pulled him in, our mouths crashing together in a kiss that tasted like salt and 4 lost years, desperate and devouring. The kind that says I never stopped without a single word. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, rain streaming down our faces like tears we wouldn't shed. "This is insane," I muttered, but my hands stayed fisted in his shirt, anchoring me to the boy who'd once made the world feel infinite. "Insane's what we do best." His laugh was rough, edged with something brittle. He tugged me toward the bleachers, where we collapsed onto the metal seats, the cold biting through our clothes. The storm raged on, a private symphony for our confession booth. "Heard you're getting hitched tomorrow. Congrats, future Mr. Perfect." The word hitched landed like a sucker punch. I stared at the flooded field, the goal net sagging in the wind. "Sarah's great. She's safe. You know how it is. Family expectations. The firm's watching." "Stop." His voice cracked the air sharper than thunder. He turned my chin with wet fingers, forcing my eyes to his. "This isn't about them. It's about you, Alex. Hiding in plain sight since the day you let me walk away." I jerked back, heat rising despite the chill. "You walked, Jordan. Packed your shit and vanished to California without a goodbye. Left me to pick up the pieces, pretending every night we spent in that dorm wasn't real." His face twisted, shadows playing cruel tricks in the low light. "I left because you wouldn't fight. Remember the scout? The offer? I begged you to come with me, to tell your folks, hell, just admit it to yourself. But you said, 'Not yet. Give it time.' Time turned into radio silence, and I couldn't breathe waiting for you to grow a spine." The accusation stung because it was true. Sophomore year, we'd been inseparable, co-captains on the varsity soccer team, late-night practices bleeding into stolen hours in the equipment shed, whispers of forever tangled in sweat-soaked jerseys. He'd been my first everything. First real laugh that felt like home. First touch that set my skin on fire. First heartbreak when the world started closing in. My dad, the high school coach who'd molded me into his mini-me, preaching man up like gospel. Mom's disappointed sighs over dinner when I dodge questions about girls. And Sarah, sweet, uncomplicated Sarah, had appeared like a lifeline junior year, her sorority smile pulling me from the edge. I was scared, I admitted, voice barely audible over the rain. Scared of losing it all. The team, the scholarship, you name it. But you leaving? That was the real terror. I replayed it 1,000 times. What if I chased you to the airport? Jordan's hand found mine, lacing fingers like muscle memory, warm against the cold. What if doesn't fix shit, Alex? But tonight, it's our last shot. Hours from your big day, and here we are, same as always, running toward trouble. We sat like that as the storm eased to a drizzle, stories spilling out like the water pooling at our feet. He told me about LA, the grind of semi-pro tryouts, the hookups that never stuck because none had my laugh, the therapy sessions where he'd finally named the ache I'd left behind. I confessed the numbness of law school apps, how Sarah's kisses felt like echoes, how every goal I scored in pickup games screamed his name. Laughter mixed with sobs, the kind that hollows you out and fills you back up, raw and real under Michigan skies. By 2 a.m., the rain stopped, stars punching through clouds like hesitant promises. We wandered the field, kicking an imaginary ball, reliving glory days, that overtime winner against Ohio State, the victory kegger where we'd slipped away to the roof, stars mirroring the ones in his eyes. His shoulder brushed mine, electric, and for a heartbeat, the future dissolved. It was just us, two kids chasing a dream no one else could see. But dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving, painting the horizon with the first blush of Judgment Day. My phone buzzed. Sarah. Can't wait for forever starts today. Love you. Guilt twisted like a knife, but Jordan's gaze held me steady. Go, he said softly, nodding toward my truck. But remember this. Love isn't a contract, Alex. It's a fire. And yours? It's been banked too long. I nodded, throat tight, pulling him into one last embrace. Fierce, unyielding, the kind that etches souls. I love you, I whispered, the words finally free after years in chains. Always have. His reply was a ghost against my lips. Then don't let this be goodbye. I drove away as the sun crested, the field shrinking in my rear view, Jordan's silhouette blurring into memory. Graduation waited, ring heavy in my pocket, but for the first time, the path ahead forked. Not straight and safe, but wild, alive with what-ifs turned what-nows. The auditorium buzzed like a hive on steroids, caps bobbing in a sea of black gowns. Families crammed into folding chairs with programs clutched like talismans. I sat in the third row, program folded in my lap, Sarah's hand warm in mine. Her nails painted a soft pink that matched her dress, a beacon of normalcy amid the chaos. This is it, babe, she murmured, squeezing my fingers, her blue eyes sparkling with that unwavering faith that both grounded and gutted me. Our future starts now. I forced a smile, the one I'd practiced in mirrors since high school. Easy, reassuring, the mask of the golden boy. But inside, Jordan's words echoed like a backbeat. Love isn't a contract. The ring box burned in my inner pocket, a grenade with the pin half pulled. Last night replayed in fragments. The rain-slick kiss, his hand in mine, the confession that cracked my chest open. I'd barely slept, replaying every second, every what-if, until exhaustion claimed me in the pre-dawn hush of our off-campus apartment. The dean droned on about legacies and horizons, but my mind wandered back to freshman orientation, that sticky August day when Jordan Hayes crashed into my world. We'd been assigned dorm roommates by some cosmic joke. Me, the straight-A jock from Grand Rapids with a chip on his shoulder about proving dad wrong. Him, the transfer from Portland with tattoos peeking from his sleeves and a grin that disarmed faster than a pickpocket. Soccer? He'd asked, clocking my cleats in the corner. Hell yeah, let's own this team. We did. From day one, practices were our religion. Sprints till lungs burned, headers under floodlights till stars spun. Off-field, It was deeper. Late-night Xbox marathons devolving into debates on everything from Kerouac to kickoffs. His laugh filling the room like smoke from a bonfire. I didn't clock the shift at first. The way my pulse hitched when his knee bumped mine on the couch. How I'd linger in the shower after games, replaying the flex of his calves on the pitch. It was gradual, insidious, until one humid September night, after a brutal loss to Penn State, we collapsed on my bed, beers in hand, venting frustrations that bled into silences heavy with unspoken wants. "You ever feel like you're playing someone else's game?" he'd asked, staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazy circles. "All the time," I'd replied, turning toward him, our faces inches apart in the dark. His breath hitched, eyes searching mine, and then Christ. His lips brushed tentative, a question I answered by pulling him closer, the world narrowing to the salt of his skin, the hitch of his gasp against my neck. That night unlocked something primal, a secret language of touches and whispers that carried us through fall leaves and winter snows. But secrets fester. By spring, rumors swirled. Teammates side-eyeing our inside jokes. Coach pulling me aside after a game. "Focus, son. Distractions lose championships." Dad's calls grew pointed. "Heard you're thick as thieves with that Hayes kid. Hope he's not leading you astray." And Sarah entered stage left, volunteer coordinator for the team's charity drive. Her organized chaos a balm to my fraying edges. She was sunlight, effortless, uncomplicated, while Jordan was storm, pulling me under with every glance. Sophomore year cracked us open. We stole weekends in and Arbor's hidden corners. Picnics by the Huron River, where he'd sketch goal formations on napkins while I traced the veins on his wrist. Drives to Detroit for underground shows, his hand on my thigh as indie bands crooned about lost boys. "This is us," he'd say, fierce and fervent. "No one's script. Just you and me, building our own damn empire." I believed him until the scout from LA Galaxy showed, dangling pro contracts like carrots. Jordan's eyes lit with a fire I'd never seen, dreams of stadiums and spotlights eclipsing our quiet rebellions. "Come with me," he'd pleaded that April night in the equipment shed. Rain pattering on tin roof like frantic applause. "We tell everyone. Your folks, the team, hell, the world. We go together." My stomach had dropped, visions flashing. Dad's face crumpling like old newsprint. Mom's prayers turning to please. The team fracturing. Scholarships evaporating. "Not yet," I choked out, the coward's creed. "Give it time, Jordan. I need to figure this out." Time was the thief. He withdrew that week. Practices mechanical, touches ghosting to nothing. By finals, his acceptance letter to UCLA arrived, and with it, a note slipped under my door. "I can't wait forever. You deserve the life you choose, not the one you're hiding in. Love always, Jay." The apartment echoed empty after he left. My bed cold, games hollow without his cheers from the sidelines. I dove into Sarah, her steadiness a shield against the void, proposing last fall under campus oaks because it felt like the right next step, the one that didn't end in exile. Now, as my name echoed through the mic, Alexander James Whitaker, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. The applause swelled, Sarah's whoop piercing the din. I crossed the stage, handshake firm, diploma crisp in my grip, flashing that practiced grin for the cameras. But as I descended the steps, Jordan's text from this morning buzzed silent in my pocket. "Proud of you. Make it count." My knees buckled mid-stride, vision blurring. Not from tears, but the weight of two lives colliding, demanding I choose. The reception tent fluttered in the post-rain breeze. White peaks against blue skies, fairy lights strung like hopeful constellations. Sarah's family manned the punch bowl, toasting my bright future. Aunts pinching my cheeks with lipstick smudges. I nodded through it, autopilot engaged, but my eyes scanned the crowd obsessively, half expecting Jordan to materialize like a hallucination. He'd texted coordinates earlier, a quiet bench by the Arboretum, for PM. "One last talk before you seal it." Insanity with the ring ceremony at sunset, but refusal felt like amputation. Sarah tugged me toward the dance floor, her sundress swirling like petals in wind. "Dance with me, future lawyer?" she teased, looping arms around my neck. We swayed to some Ed Sheeran ballad, her head on my shoulder, scent of lavender shampoo a gentle anchor. I'm so happy, Alex. This, us. It's everything I dreamed. Her words were knives, twisting sweet. Me too, I lied, chin resting on her curls, guilt coiling tighter. She was blameless. Kind, ambitious. The girl who'd nursed me through post-Jordan funks with ice cream and bad movies. Never pressing when I'd zone out mid-conversation. We'd built a rhythm. Sunday brunches at Zingerman's, study sessions in her sorority lounge, road trips to Lake Michigan where she'd sketch wildflowers while I pretended the waves drowned my doubts. Proposing had been momentum, a leap I convinced myself was love, not escape. But as the song faded, my phone vibrated, Arboretum. Now an excuse tumbled out. Gotta grab something from the truck. Be right back. She kissed my cheek, trusting as ever, and I slipped away, weaving through clusters of well-wishers, heart hammering a traitor's tattoo. The Arboretum path wound through maples ablaze in crimson, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle promises. Jordan waited on the bench, legs stretched, a paper coffee cup steaming in his hands. He looked every inch the West Coast transplant. Faded Levi's, Henley hugging his frame, that same old beanie pulled low. Seeing him there, casual amid the poetry of fall, hit like vertigo. He was the road not taken, vivid and calling. You made it, he said, standing, no preamble. His smile was cautious, eyes tracing my gown like it was a costume. Barely. I sank beside him, the wood creaking under our weight. Up close, faint lines etched his forehead, scars from sun and striving, and I ached to smooth them away. Sarah's asking questions. It's reckless. Reckless is your specialty. He handed me the coffee, fingers brushing deliberate, sending sparks up my arm. Black, 2 sugars. Figured you'd need it. We sipped in silence, the forest murmuring around us, birds flitting, wind sighing through branches. It was a bubble, fragile and fleeting, but in it, truth surfaced unbidden. I saw your Insta, he ventured, scrolling phantom feeds. You and her at prom last year. Looked happy. I am. The words soured on my tongue. But it's not. It's not fire, Jordan. It's a lamp steady, but dim. With you it was wildfire. Consuming. He set his cup down, turning to face me fully, knee pressing mine. Then why settle? Because Dad says so? Because Michigan's safer than chasing dreams across state lines. It's not that simple. Frustration bubbled, hot and defensive. You bolted without a fight. Left me to drown in what-ifs while you chased glory. How's that fair? His laugh was bitter, eyes flashing. Fair? I fought every day for us, in secret, yeah, but fought. Texts you ignored, calls you dodged when the scout rumors hit. I left to save us both from half a life. But damn, Alex, seeing you now, gowned up ring ready, it guts me. You're still that kid on the field, eyes wide with want, but too scared to shoot. The Arboretum spun, colors bleeding into urgency. I grabbed his hand, pulse sinking. And if I shoot now, call it off, chase you west? What then? 2 broke queers against the world, crashing on couches till we flame out. Then we burn bright. His thumb traced my knuckles, voice dropping to gravel. Or we don't. But at least we'd know we tried. Not this. Performance. A twig snapped nearby, voices. Laughter approaching. Family stragglers on the path. Panic flared, but so did clarity, sharp as shattered glass. I stood, pulling him up with me, our bodies inches apart in the dappled light. Meet me tonight, after the ceremony. Same field. If I don't show, you know. His nod was solemn, green eyes holding mine like vows. I'll be there. I walked back to the tent alone, leaves whispering warnings, the ring a lead weight. Sarah found me at the edge, looping her arm through mine. Everything okay? Yeah, I said, the lie smoother now, laced with resolve, just tying up loose ends. As the sun dipped toward the ceremony arch, where vows waited like a guillotine, I wondered if loose ends could be retied. or if some were meant to fray into freedom. The arch loomed like a gallows in the arboretum's heart, draped in white tulle that fluttered like surrender flags in the evening breeze. Guests milled on the lawn, 200 strong, a tapestry of my life woven from high school buddies, law profs with knowing nods, Sarah's sorority sisters in pastel clusters. Dad stood tall at the front, arms crossed over his polo, the picture of paternal pride masking the steel spine that had drilled discipline into me since Pee Wee Leagues. Mom fussed with the officiant's mic, her smile tight as she glanced my way, as if sensing the tremor in my step. Sarah emerged from the tent like a vision, ivory lace hugging her frame, hair pinned with wildflowers, eyes locking on mine with that pure, unshadowed love. My chest constricted. She deserved sonnets, not sabotage. We met under the arch, hands clasped, the officiant, a kindly prof with a bow tie, clearing his throat to begin. Dearly beloved. Vows flowed from her lips, earnest and etched. Promises of partnership, of building homes from blueprints we'd sketched in coffee-stained notebooks. Alex, you've been my steady north since the day you tripped over that fundraiser banner and laughed it off. I vow to be your compass, through every storm. Applause rippled as she finished, expectant eyes turning to me. The ring box weighed my pocket, Jordan's phantom touch a counterpoint to her warmth. I opened my mouth, words cueing like soldiers. I vow to cherish, to honor, but they jammed, throat closing on the fraud. Alex, Sarah's whisper, brow furrowed in that adorable crease. The officiant prompted gently, but my mind fractured. Flashes of Jordan on the bench, his challenge hanging like smoke. The field last night, rain washing away pretenses. Freshman dorm, his first, I love you murmured against my collarbone during a thunderstorm that felt like fate. This arch wasn't a threshold, it was a trapdoor, and below yawned the abyss of half-lived days. The word escaped, ragged. Guests shifted, murmurs rising like tide. Dad's eyes narrowed, Mom's hand fluttering to her pearls. Sarah's grip tightened, confusion blooming to concern. I can't. The confession burst free, louder than intended, echoing off the trees. Gasps rippled, Sarah's face paling as if I'd slapped her. Sarah, God, I'm so sorry. You're incredible, everything right in this world. But I'm not. Not with me. Not honest. Her hand slipped from mine, slow as a leaf fall. What? Alex? What are you saying? The officiant stepped back, wise enough to yield the stage. I faced her fully, voice cracking under the weight. I'm gay, Sarah. Have been, always. I thought I could bury it, build something real on top. But it's not fair, to you, to us. You deserve someone who sees only you, not shadows. Tears welled in her eyes, not anger but a profound, aching sorrow that mirrored my own. The late nights, the distance. It was him, wasn't it? That teammate you never talk about. Jordan. I nodded, the name a talisman. He came back, forced me to face it. I love him. Or, I never stopped. She exhaled shakily, glancing at the crowd. Her parents frozen, friends whispering firewalls. I knew something was off, hoped it was just cold feet. A sad smile ghosted her lips. Go, find your truth. But Alex, don't let fear win again. Her grace undid me. I pulled her into a hug, her sobs muffled against my shoulder, the arch a witness to unraveling rather than union. I'll make this right. Therapy, whatever you need. Friends, always. We parted, her retreating to family arms, me stumbling through the parting sea of stares. Pity, shock, a few defiant nods from queer allies in the back. Dad intercepted at the path's edge, face thunderous. What the hell was that, son? You humiliate her. Us. Like this. It's not humiliation, Dad. It's honesty. My voice held, bolstered by the man waiting in the dark. I've been living your playbook too long. Time for mine. He recoiled, words failing the coach who thrived on strategy. Mom hovered, tears carving tracks. We love you, Alex. Whatever this is, we'll figure it. Their words, tentative bridges, eased the sting. I nodded, throat too thick for more, and bolted for the parking lot, gown flapping like broken wings. The truck roared to life, tires spinning gravel as I aimed for the field, the old beacon in the night. Midnight found me there again, moon casting silver on sodden grass, goalposts ghostly sentinels. No rain this time, just crisp autumn chill, stars winking overhead like conspirators. Jordan paced the midline, silhouette tense, pausing as my headlights swept him. He didn't smile, just watched as I killed the engine and approached, the air between us charged with unspoken verdicts. "You came," he said finally, voice a mix of hope and wariness. "No ring. No Sarah. No more hiding." I stopped inches away, close enough to see the pulse at his throat. I called it off, told everyone. Dad's pissed, Mom's processing Sarah. She's a saint. Hurt, but free. His eyes widened, processing the bomb I dropped. "Jesus, Alex. You didn't have to." "I did." I cupped his face, thumbs brushing stubble rough as truth. "For us, if there's an us." Last night, today it cracked me open. I can't go back to lamps, Jordan. I want the fire. For a heartbeat, he searched my face, walls crumbling. Then he surged forward, kissing me with a ferocity that stole breath. Deep, claiming, laced with relief and reignited hunger. We sank to the grass, tangled in a heap of limbs and laughter. The field our altar, stars our confetti. But joy crested into confession's undertow. As we lay side by side, hands linked overhead, he voiced the shadow. "LA's calling again. Trial with a USL team next month. If we do this, then we do." I rolled to face him, resolve stealing. "I'm deferring law school. Got a summer gig coaching youth league here, buy time to plan. You chase your dream. I'll meet you on the coast. Couches, ramen, the works. As long as it's with you." Doubt flickered in his green depths. "You sure? This life's messy. No safety nets, just us against the grind." Messy beats numb. I kissed his knuckles, sealing the pact. "And hey, if we crash, at least we'll burn out spectacularly." Dawn painted the sky in pinks and golds as we dressed, reluctant to shatter the bubble. He drove me back to campus, radio humming low indie folk, his hand on my knee a steady anchor. At the apartment drop-off, he lingered, forehead to mine. "This is real, right? No takebacks." Real as that overtime goal against Michigan State. I grinned, the memory a spark. "You assisted. I scored. Teamwork." His laugh echoed as he pulled away, taillights fading into morning haze. Alone in the empty place. Sarah's things already half-packed in mental prelude. I collapsed on the bed, exhaustion crashing like waves. Phone buzzed. Sarah's text, "Hurt, but proud. Call when you're ready. P.S. He's lucky." Jordan's followed. "Love you. See you on the flip side." Sleep claimed me then, dreamless and deep, the first true rest in years. Waking to noon sun, I rose renewed, not fixed, but fractured open, light flooding cracks. Texts piled, friend support, a teammates knew it, bro, be happy. Dad's curt, we talk soon. No condemnations, just space to breathe. Packing was cathartic, jerseys folded with memories, law books shelved for later. By evening, the apartment echoed less hollow. Possibility hummed in the air. I met Sarah for coffee at Comet, our spot. Awkward hugs dissolving into tears and toasts with lattes. "We'll be okay," she said, fierce through mascara streaks. "You too. Go get your wildfire." I did. 2 weeks later, duffel slung over shoulder, I boarded a Greyhound West, Michigan shrinking in dust-choked windows. Texts from Jordan lit the miles. Training clips, sunset selfies from Santa Monica beaches. LA hit like a fever. Palm fronds rattling in Santa Ynez, sprawl of freeways veering toward infinity. He met me at Union Station, grin splitting his face, pulling me into a hug that erased the distance. Our first place was a shoebox in Echo Park. Peeling paint, futon for a bed, view of the Hollywood sign mocking our broke-ass bliss. Nights blurred into rhythm. Him at dawn practices, me job hunting barista gigs and freelance writing for local rags. Evenings tangled on that futon, trading stories of the day over takeout tacos. Fights flared, his late nights at the gym sparking jealousy, my freelance droughts breeding insecurity. But makeups were magic, apologies whispered in the dark forging us stronger. Christmas came neon bright, string lights on our sad ficus, his pro contract signed in Sharpie on the fridge. A USL developmental deal with the LAFC Academy, modest but mighty. We flew to Michigan, tentative olive branch to my folks. Dad's handshake was stiff, but his grilling questions about Jordan's stats softened to nods. Mom baked pies, slipping me a check with a wink, for the Wildfire Fund. Back west, spring bloomed with audacity. I landed a spot at a community college, poli-sci adjunct track with queer-lit electives. My voice, finally, inked on syllabi. Jordan scored his first assist in a friendly, crowd roaring as I hooped from bleachers, our eyes locking across the pitch like that first dorm night. But bliss has barbs. Summer scorched insecurities. A scout's whisper of Europe tempting him away. My adjunct paychecks mocking stability dreams. One July night, after a brutal loss, he stormed in reeking of bar scotch, words slurring accusations. You're holding me back, Alex. Always the anchor, Michigan morals chaining me here. The slap of truth stung. Old fears resurfaced, that sophomore shed where I'd clipped his wings. Then go. I shot back, voice venom. Chase your spotlight solo. I'll find my own damn son. He crashed on the futon. Silence a chasm. Dawn brought regret. His eyes red-rimmed, my pride bruised. I didn't mean, he started. I know. I knelt beside him, hand on his knee. We're both scared, but running, that's the real chain. We talked till noon, raw and relentless. Therapy referrals swapped, boundaries sketched like game plans. It wasn't fixed overnight, but it mended, scar tissue tougher than skin. Fall brought harvest. His call-up to the first team, my first published op-ed on queer athletes in The Advocate. We celebrated on Mulholland, city lights sprawling below like conquered stars. To us, he toasted with cheap champagne, foam bubbling wild, to burning bright. 2 years blurred into a kaleidoscope of cleats and keyboards. Our shoebox traded for a one-bed in Silver Lake with a balcony overlooking reservoir shimmer. Jordan Star ascended, USL All-Star nod, whispers of MLS drafts, while I carved a niche. Adjunct prof by day, freelance essays on identity in the heartland by night, my byline a quiet rebellion. Mornings started synced. His protein shakes whirring as I brewed coffee, kisses traded over headlines, his love you, professor lingering like afterglow. But ambition's shadow lengthened. Fall 2027, a German Bundesliga scout pinged Jordan's agent. Trial invite, 6 figures on the table, Berlin's electric leagues beckoning. It's huge, he said over dinner at our Formica table. Eyes alight but edged with plea. Not just money, legacy, but you, us. Berlin. The word conjured frost-lace spires. Beer halls humming with history. Romantic, yes, but a chasm from our sun-baked nest. My adjunct contract renewed. Essays gaining traction with a book deal nibbling at edges. Uproot again? After Michigan's ghosts barely banished? We'd make it work. I hedged, fork-spearing pad thai. Flights, FaceTime, hell. I've got remote gigs brewing. His fork clattered, frustration flaring. That's not living, Alex. It's surviving. Remember sophomore year? You wouldn't leap. Don't make me choose between dream and you again. The echo hit hard. That shed plea, my not yet the fracture line. This isn't the same, I countered, heat rising. Back then I was kid scared. Now, we're built. But Berlin solo? That's exile Jordan. We'd wither on video calls. He pushed back, chair scraping like a referee's whistle. Or thrive. Prove we're more than geography. Storming to the balcony, he lit a rare smoke, silhouette stark against city glow. I joined him, hand tentative on his back. I'm scared too, he admitted, exhaling smoke dragons. Of losing you to distance. But staying small? That's losing me. Dawn hashed it over waffles. Compromises sketched. I'd sabbatical, remote teach from Germany, book tour Europe. Logistics loomed like hurdles, but love leaped them. By noon, emails flew. Acceptances, visas, a sublet for our flat. Excitement simmered, tentative. Packing boxes mingled with goodbye brunches. Friends toasting, Zoom Neuanfang. LAX farewell was a blur. Hugs from my writer circle. Jordan's teammates slapping backs with, "Kill it, Hayes." On the plane, hands clasped across armrests, we plotted. Christmas markets, soccer and Tiergarten, my essays translated for Der Spiegel. Turbulence bumped like nerves, but his squeeze grounded. Our empire expands. Berlin swallowed us in gray grandeur. Kreuzberg walk up with creaky floors. Views of graffiti-splashed walls. Jordan dove into drills, body honed sharper. While I set up at a corner cafe, laptop humming amid strudel scents. Nights were ours. Currywurst stands, boat rides on the spree, his head on my lap as U-Bahn rumbled below. But cracks spidered. Language barriers bit, my Duolingo German flailing at markets, his focus tunneling to training, conversations clipped to logistics. Winter clamped iron. Snow muffling streets, isolation gnawing as jet lag lingered. My remote classes glitched, students' faces pixelated ghosts. Essays returned red-inked, cultural nuances lost in translation. January's chill peaked with a fight. Him late from a sponsored dinner, me pacing with a stalled manuscript. "You're vanishing," I accused, voice echoing off high ceilings. "Soccer's God now. I'm the kept man." He slammed the door, coat shedding snow. "And you're suffocating me. Berlin's my shot. Why poison it with doubts?" Words escalated. Barbs honed on homesickness. My Michigan anchor jabs, his fearful ghost retorts. Silence followed, Arctic, him crashing on the couch. Me in our bed alone, tears freezing on lashes. Morning thawed tentative. Coffee brewed wordless, his hand brushing mine at the pot. "I hate this," he murmured. "Fighting you feels like fighting me." We walked the Landwehr Canal, breath fogging, truths barging free. "I miss us," I confessed, arm linked his. "The easy fire. Here, it's embers, beautiful but cold." "Me too." He stopped under a bridge, graffiti hearts mocking. "Maybe Europe's too far from roots." Draft rumors heating, LA Galaxy, full MLS. Home turf. Relief flooded, warm as spring thaw. Then we go. Reclaim our coast. Decision rippled. Emails to agents. My book agents cheers for a stateside pivot. Packing was lighter this time. Lessons learned in cardboard. Flexibility's the true muscle. Back in LA by March, Galaxy ink dried, we reclaimed Silver Lake with upgrades. A balcony herb garden. His jersey framed beside my first edition. Spring bloomed forgiving. Joint therapy sessions unpacking exile scars. Date nights at Griffith Observatory stargazing legacies. Summer scorched triumphs. His MLS debut assist, broadcast nationwide. Me and Stan's whooping as cameras caught our kiss on the Jumbotron. Bold, unapologetic, cheers thundering approval. My book launched to quiet acclaim, Fields of Fire. Queer love in the American game. Readings packed with wide-eyed fans echoing our story. But life's no montage. Shadows lingered. Dad's visit tested. Awkward beers at Dodger Stadium. His gruff, proud, son. Over hot dogs the breakthrough bomb. Sarah's wedding invite arrived. Her joy in photos a gentle close. We sent Crystal, toasting her from afar. Fall 2028 crested with a curve. Jordan's knee tweak in playoffs, sidelining him months. Panic flared. His identity cleated to the pitch, but I anchored. "You're more than goals. Writer? Coach? Hell, that sourdough you obsess over." Humor cracked ice. Rehab became ritual, me reading drafts aloud as he iced. His sketches of plays doodled into book margins. Isolation bonded deeper, vulnerabilities voiced in lamplight. His fear of fading, my imposter syndrome in academia. By winter, clearance came. Bench roll, cautious return. His first sub appearance? Electric. Crowd chant. My heart swell. Post-game, locker room interview. Couldn't without my guy, Alex. He's the real MVP. Public now, our story trended, podcasts, profiles and out, high schoolers demand thanks. Pressure mounted. Expectations, trolls, but we armored with each other. Therapy, a weekly reset. New Year's Eve, balcony under fireworks, champagne flutes clinking. To empires, he toasted, eyes reflecting bursts. To us, I countered, pulling him close. Fireworks faded, but ours roared on. Forged in rain-slick fields, tempered in transatlantic tempests. A love as American as underdogs. Resilient, roaring, relentlessly true. Yet, as confetti settled, a whisper nagged. Happily ever afters are myths. Ours was ever unfolding, laced with the grit that made it gold. 2029 dawned with deceptive calm, our rhythm a well-oiled machine. Jordan's rotations yielding steady play, my tenure track solidifying with a UCLA guest lectureship. Weekends hiking Runyon Canyon where city sprawl met wild sage. We'd built buffers, date jars with scribbled adventures, emergency fire talks to douse sparks before infernos. Love, we'd learned, was maintenance. Oiled hinges, not fairy dust. But fate's a prankster. April bloomed a bomb. My doctor's call post-routine check, early-stage lymphoma, caught via a fluke chest cold. Treatable, the oncologist assured in sterile office light, charts glowing optimistic. Chemo, radiation, 6 months aggressive, then watch and wait. You're young, fit, odds stellar. Jordan's face in the waiting room, pale as the pamphlets clutched in his fist, mirrored my numb core. Drive home blurred, his hand white-knuckled on the gearshift. We'll fight this, he vowed, voice steel over tremor. Together, like always. Home, collapse. Me on the couch, facts tumbling like dominoes. Him pacing, calls to specialists firing like artillery. Mom flew in that week. Her practical hugs and bone marrow donor match a lifeline. Dad's daily check-ins, gruff recipes for healing stews, cracked his armor further. Treatment blitzkrieg. Infusions blurring days into nausea haze. Jordan's games attended via live stream from hospital beds. His post-goal dedications. For my warrior. Beaming through screens. Hair shed in clumps. Mirror mocking the stranger staring back. But his touch anchored. Scalp rubs with that pine soap. Playlists of our old road trip anthems crooning resilience. Lows plunged deep. Nights when pain clawed. Doubts whispering why fight? He'd curl beside me. Story spun of future pitches. Coaching youth in Berlin rematches. My book sequel on sports and survival. You're my assist, he'd murmur. Fingers tracing port scars. Every goal's ours. Betrayal reared subtle. Not his but bodies. A scan blip in July. Shadow on lung screaming progression. Panic clawed. Jordan's agent fielded trade whispers. Pressure mounting for his focus. One August night, post-argument over my stubborn denial, he snapped. I can't lose you, Alex. But this, it's killing me too. His confession gutted love's flip side. The thief in the night. Then go. I rasped, chemo weak but fierce. Play. Win cups. I'll haunt your highlights from chemo chairs. He recoiled, tears carving tracks. Never. You're my game, win or lose. Dawn mended. Apologies in sunrise. Renewed vows over vending machine coffee. Scans clarified. False alarm, inflammation mimic. But the scare etched deeper. Fragility's teacher, urging presence over plans. Remission whispered October. Bells tolling clear in follow-ups. Celebration, quiet hike to the Hollywood sign. His proposal casual as cleats. Knee drop amid scrub oak. Ring simple platinum band etched with a tiny goalpost. Marry me? Not for show for us. Empire official. Tears blurred the vista. Yes, choked out, our kiss tasting triumph. Wedding brewed small. June courthouse, Silver Lake potluck reception. Sarah as best woman, toasting to fires untamed. My folks beaming, Dad's speech stumbling heartfelt. You taught me love's no playbook. Honeymoon, road trip echoes, Route 66 redux, motels with neon ghosts. his hand on my thigh as deserts blurred. Stops at diners for pie philosophy, nights under stars scripting sequels. Back, life accelerated. His MLS All-Star start, my sabbatical for Book 2 remission runs. Love, loss, and the long game. Tours overlapped his away games. FaceTime check-ins laced with miss your laugh, ache. But humanism humbles. 2030's winter chill brought Jordan's echo, shoulder tear in cup semis. Surgery sidelining seasons. Mirror of my siege, roles reversed. Me at physio, him scripting survivor tales. Your turn to assist. I teased. But inside, fear flickered. What if his fire dimmed? He fought feral. Pool laps, mental coaching from sports shrinks. My essays read aloud as talismans. Comeback crested spring. Sub-appearance. Roar deafening as he threaded a pass. Victory sealed. Post-game huddle. Teammates' hugs, my pride swelling oceans. Yet, scars linger. Anniversaries mark milestones, not endings. Dad's heart scare that fall pulled us Midwest. Hospice talks turning to legacies. His hand in mine whispering, "You were right, son." Live loud. His passing November leaves hollows, but Jordan's eulogy. Coach Whitaker built winners. Alex built hearts, heels and echoes. We pivot, his coaching pivot budding, youth academy gig blending play with mentor. My professorship blooms, queer studies chair with a podcast arm field notes. Episodes on us types navigating norms. Home evolves. Adoption whispers for a kiddo, papers stacking with hope. One eve, balcony perch as sun dips, his head on my shoulder. Think we made it? He muses, fingers laced mine. Making it, I correct, kissing temple. Every day's the long game. Fireworks crack distant. Some galas cheer, but ours? Steady blaze, humanistic hymn. Not perfection, but persistence. Not fairy tale, but fought for forever. In America's vast pitch, from Michigan mud to Cali coasts. We score not goals, but graces. Love's quiet assists, betrayal's lessons, emotions endless over time. And in that, we win.